Step 1, wake up, brother, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, brother, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Good morning, everybody. I am JJW, the most qualified host of this show, except for him, who is way more qualified. What credentials do I have? None. None, sir. I have none. I'm just here to have a good time and read the news. And Deacon is here to have a good time and read the news. And we are not obligated to be accurate or factual or true. Now, I'm going to try to be true, but I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, please forgive me. And if I say things you don't like, I'm sorry. YouTube might kick me off the air again. It could happen. It could happen very soon. And if it happens again, ladies and gentlemen, if I get a second strike from YouTube, I will be completely off the air of YouTube for 2 weeks. It'll be 14 days, no posting to YouTube, and our current probation is through December 28th. So I got a feeling this goes exactly one way, and the way is I'm going to say something, and YouTube's going to say no, you can't do that. Anyway, good morning, Deacon. How are you today? He's good. He's on the air right now, ladies and gentlemen. And welcome back to YouTube. We are broadcasting right now on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, Rumble. We're on Rumble. Please join Rumble. And also currently we're on YouTube. That could change at any given time. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe or share. And if you're on rumble.com/JJW, please hit that Rumble button. Or if you're on your computer, it looks like this thing down here, which is like a pill, I guess. I don't know.
No, you can't hear me because I'm fucking muted at the top.
No, I can't hear you. I can't hear you when you're muted. I didn't do that.
How many mutes do we have? I've got 70 fucking mutes around here. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here
Good morning,
talking to
Deacon.
you, and you're keep going, and I'm like, can you
I don't
hear
know.
me? Because
I thought you were
can
talking
hear
on the
me.
radio.
No, I was talking to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm not ignoring you. Hi, I'm trying to talk too.
Deacon says hi, everybody. Maybe other people can't hear you. I'm sure they can. All right, and we got our YouTube chat. So if you're on YouTube, Twitch, or
Are
what's
we
the other
back on
one?
YouTube?
Yeah, we're on YouTube right now for the moment. So
Screw
please,
YouTube. Are we back on it now?
Yeah. Deacon, this show is like a race car. Okay, Deacon, it's like a race car. It's like a Maserati or I don't know anything about cars, but it's a fast car and it's expensive. This whole show, fast car, expensive. And one of your hosts might be drunk and the other one doesn't have a license and he is just driving as fast as he can. we're gonna wreck this bee.
You can say bitch. It's cool here. I don't get offended.
Man. Yeah. My kids might watch this later. I'm gonna try to be a little bit better about that myself. Okay, Deacon, I have to ask you, how's your morning?
I'm not gonna be better about my cussing, JJ.
It's all right. Nobody. I have no expectations of you.
I have always had a problem with people getting offended by certain words. I understand that the meaning behind words can be offensive, but if I'm using a word like fuck or shit or damn or something, I'm more than likely using it as an expressive term, and it's not meant to. It's not
be
meant
the literal description of the action.
Yeah,
to invoke the mental imagery.
Yeah, and people that are like, you're cussing. Oh, I can't hear that. You are a snowflake among snowflakes, and you really wouldn't make it in the real world if we weren't in 2000, the year 2000. You wouldn't have made it this far in life. All right, we need to toughen up as people, and words are one of those things. Fuck is one of the most useful words in our language. It can be a noun, a verb, an adverb, an adjective. It can be anything. You can use that word. It's the most versatile word. And then some people are like, oh, you're offending me because of that sound.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Some people are real sensitive. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to guard my tongue all the time, but I'm going to make a modest effort, and it's only for the fact that my kids might walk in, right? Well, that's the biggest thing. Because I do feel bad.
And yes, you have young children, and I will. Yeah, I do the same thing. I don't like it. You have your earbuds in, so when your kids walk in, and I'm like, fuckity fuck. And
yeah,
like,
right. Yeah, I don't care.
They're
not allowed to use YouTube to find this show for a decade.
And I work on the radio, and I've had people say all the time. I mean, Ashley's like, "How do you just turn that on and off all the time?" And it's just a switch. When I'm not on the air right now. I know I'm not, and if I am, it's not like I haven't said that kind of stuff.
FCC fine. What's the FCC fine for the F word? Do you have any idea?
The fines went up exponentially. They went up by like 5,000% when Janet Jackson showed her titty on the Super Bowl. Did you know that?
Oh,
the radio fines went out the fucking roof when that happened. Like nobody know. Everybody's like, "Oh, Janet Jackson showed her boob," and they didn't. No. On the radio side of things, because the FCC went ballistic. It used to be like I don't know if this was it, but like if I said the word and somebody, there's a whole process. It's not just me saying the word and somebody's like, JJ said the F word on the radio. You got to have it recorded with my identifiers and stuff, and it's a whole process. Okay, they can't just take your word for it. They have to have it recorded and me saying it. But it used to be like if it was $2,500 for the radio station would be fined. It is now like $200,000, $250,000, 25. I don't know. It's gone up so much that it's just ridiculous.
I was going to look for my pocket constitution and find out how much speech is allowed to be curtailed on, because it's
The
airwaves are public, right?
The airwaves are public airwaves, but we
Yeah.
have to follow certain rules because they belong
Right.
to you and me, and I can't get vulgar. I can't talk about certain things on here, and I have to do certain things for you. I can't just sell my stuff all the time. I have to have I have to give the public free access for public PSAs, public
Right.
service announcements, and stuff like that. I
So
have to do that. We actually
the
had to. I just had to type up 3 months worth of free public service stuff that we just done this week so that I could send it into the FCC to show them, hey, we're following the rules. There's a
So
lot.
not only does your speech on the public airwaves have limits, there's also compelled speech as well. There's things you must say. Well, isn't that interesting?
Like, what do you mean must say? Yeah, there are things that I must say.
Yeah, you
Yes.
have compelled speech, and you have in. Let me just. I'm sure it's in here that you can. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, prohibiting the free exercise or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press. So you're both the press and having free speech, and you definitely not only abridged, you are compelled.
Mhm.
I'm surprised that this has gone this long and not
When
gone to court and won successfully.
and about 20, maybe close to 20 years ago is when they started the emergency alert system. You could probably look that up and see when it came out. The
Everybody
emergency
should have a copy of the Constitution, boys and girls. If you want to be a legitimate old man, you need to have a Constitution in your pocket.
I think it was in the Obama era that we had to change out a bunch of our emergency alert system stuff to if the government wants to take over my radio station to shut me down right now, they can. They can just flip a button. And if they want to,
they can just rebroadcast their own message, right?
Yeah, if they want to announce on any radio station, the radio stations are supposed to have this set up. If they don't, huge fines. But yeah, they can flip a switch and Biden can be like, butter cake, I like crayons. Nobody will take down the Biden. Nobody fucks with the Bidens except stairs and bicycles.
I didn't pull the nobody F's with. I saw that story yesterday. I didn't pull it yet.
No.
I don't know. I don't know how much if you wanted to talk about it or whatever. But
I
Joe
don't care.
Biden got caught on a hot mic.
Our idiot president who thinks that
Well,
he's
maybe
a
we'll-
badass. Nobody.
Maybe
fucks
we'll.
Bidens.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you made a coherent sentence there, Granddad. Jesus Christ, why don't you try to walk down the stairs or ride your fucking bicycle again and see if that fucking bicycle don't fuck with the Bidens? Nobody fucks with the Bidens unless you're fuck you.
Okay. All right. We gotta. I don't think we're gonna win. Here's the thing. I believe the allegations that Mr. Biden maybe was abusive, but I don't think we're going to win anybody's. I don't think we're going to win anyone over with that kind of stuff. I think as soon as we say stuff like that, people are like, "Oh, I mean, the evidence is there, or evidences are out there. You can see for yourself." But I think that as soon as we start making that, well, if you're going to be legitimately critical of the president, and hold on, if you're going to be legitimately critical of the president, and you want people to listen to you, then that really salacious stuff that is evil, unfortunately, you have to. We may have to not talk about that in order to get them to listen to the legitimate arguments of the other.
And I don't want those people listening to the legitimate argument, because those type of people are not intelligent people and they're not listening anyway. They're the type of fucking people, liberals and Democrats and Republicans on both sides. I know these people. All right, they're the type of people that when you start talking to them, they hear a trigger word or they hear a trigger sentence and they automatically take the rest of the fucking time that you're talking to try to think up a retort for what you said at the beginning, and they don't listen.
You're not wrong about that.
Else that you said. Okay, so I don't care about those people. You cannot change those people's minds. You cannot get those people to listen to you, and the only hope for those people are that they will grow up and mature a little bit. So I am not going to waste my time on there. And furthermore, if people want to say, "Oh, I don't want to talk about the president and maybe being a pedophile because that's triggering," then I would like to go back to what I said about 5 minutes ago about you being a snowflake of a snowflake, and you're the fucking problem. If you don't want to talk about the leader of the free world potentially being a fucking pedophile and the overwhelming evidence that shows that he's a pedophile, then you are a part of the problem. And I don't want you listening, or I don't want you. Yeah, I don't. Period. So if
All
you
right.
get triggered by, I don't want to watch those two guys because they talk about this, and I don't want you watching. Don't watch.
Right.
You're banned
All right.
from watching our show.
And let me make it in no uncertain terms. I think Joe Biden is a total piece of shit as a human being, not just as a president and an officer of the government, but no, as an individual human being. I think he's a disgusting piece of shit.
And you, as a human being and a citizen of America, have the right to your own opinion, and you have the right to think that about him. And
All right.
people have the right to think that I'm a fucking moron and an idiot too for saying all this stuff, and that's fine.
All right.
I don't care.
Our live view broadcast has gone from 5 to 3, but that's okay. We're doing the good thing. We're doing the right thing. All right.
Good.
Okay, we're not even in
idiots. Do you
we're
want
not
those
even
idiots listening to you to tweet
I mean,
out?
yeah.
These morons. I don't want
Bro,
them.
I got to get those. I got to accumulate those watch hours. I got to
I
get
don't want
4,000
watch hours from the assholes. I don't want them. I don't want them.
All right.
I'm not doing this for watch hours. I'm doing this because me and you talk. You know,
Yeah,
I don't care about that little number up there. I don't.
I know. Okay, so we're not even I got a couple of political stuff, but we're not even there yet. I was going to talk about something weird that I saw yesterday, and I just wanted to see if you'd ever heard of it.
Well, I didn't see. I saw you like put up a thing, and then I had put up a thing, and then you put up a thing, and then we were both posting to different things.
Yeah. Oh, is there a whole other channel? I don't even. Oh, God.
I made like a thread yesterday morning, then you made a thread like an hour later.
Well, I think.
Oh, well, okay.
All right. Look at this. A
Okay.
mysterious 7,000-year-old complex. No, it does look like a hill, but it's a complex discovered that could be the center of a religious cult. Okay. With discoveries happening every day, we keep discovering stuff where humans lived thousands of years ago. Look at this thing. It was uncovered by workers in the 1980s when they were digging to install water and gas pipelines, but they just recently discovered a 180-foot structure, and it's called the Roundel, and it dates back 7,000 years, which is even older than Stonehenge and the pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
Is that titillating a little bit? Let me see if there's a photo. I'm not sure about. Yes, I don't know about this video. I'm not going to play that, but that's crop circles. Is that the thing?
It's probably an indentation. It's probably not a crop circle. It's probably an indentation of the structure underneath or whatnot.
So this is an imagination, I guess, of what it looked like. So it could have been like this double wall fort thing kind of on a hill. And then this is maybe what's left of it. 7,000 years old, big old circle thing. Could have been like used for religious stuff, or it could have been
a home area. My last name translates all the way back to the Viking era when they would go into the middle of the woods and they would build like a circular area, and that was what they lived in, you know, and that's where my last name comes from. So it was just it wasn't like a fort or anything. It was just like a circular area that they built, like the community would build in a circular area, I guess, for better protection, you know? I'm one of these people that think that, and once again, let me point out that I am a freaking moron. I'm an idiot, but I'm one of these people that wholeheartedly believe that there's been other civilizations on this earth, like ones that we don't even know about. Like they've been lost to history.
Are you suggesting that there's...
I'm not saying aliens or anything. I'm saying I think that there was other civilizations on this earth that we don't know about, that we find stuff like this and we're like, we think this is 7,000 years old. Well, who had this? Right. Who had this at 7,000 years? Well, there was other civilizations that probably got pretty technological. Did they get as technological as we are today? I don't know, but did they get maybe to the fucking Bronze Age? Maybe. That we think
Right.
that they, and I think that everything was wiped out by something and we had to start all over again. We're like, ooh, Stone Age, Iron Age, Bronze Age again.
Right.
I think that we've been through this before, but I'm an idiot. So what do I
You're
know?
not an idiot.
I just think that.
Oh, you had your own. You did have your own thread.
It's okay.
Damn it!
I just had a couple of
so this is not obviously. This is
in there.
this is not as impressive as the pyramids in stature and size, but it is very old. I'm just. It looks like there's.
Whoever's comparing this to the pyramids is somebody that made a C in history class. All right, you're just trying to. Whoever's comparing this to the pyramids in that story is just trying to sell the story. There's nothing comparable to this to the pyramids to me, other than the fact that they're both old.
It's it's old and oh, I know. Manuel's talking about Eric Vaughn, some other dude with the alien pyramid guy, and and there was another deacon. There was this video he gave me. It was like an hour-long presentation about something about rocks, and I sat through it for an hour, and I was like, I respect that this guy is doing his academic stuff. I don't believe necessarily some of his assumptions, but it was an hour long, and I was like, this is too long and stretched out. I can't make this a tight, like, give me a tight point, a tight claim. Like,
sometimes you can't do a tight claim and you're not interested in stuff like that. So you see how that goes. You're not interested. You want something quick. So you don't, you're, and I'm not saying this in a negative context, but you don't care. Well, that's not something that doesn't interest you. But to me, that's something that's very interesting to me. And I'd be like, oh, an hour. Yeah. Let's talk about rocks for an hour. That's cool.
Well, okay. So for one thing, and it's been a week or two since I watched the video, but one thing he was like, oh, they made these certain makes, but you would have had to have power tools to make this. And I'm like, would you have to have power tools for sure? Because they said the same thing about Egyptians carving circular holes into granite, and like, oh, that's impossible. You have to have power tools. And you don't have to have power tools. You have to have a copper tube, which you can make copper, and a stick with a rock on it. And then you spin it around in a circle, and the weight and the unevenness of the stick drills right through the granite, and you can do it in like a few minutes. It's crazy. The stuff that
do you really think? I mean, I'm just asking. I'm not insinuating anything about my beliefs, but do you think that the Egyptians did that with the pyramids, with how we do you think that they did all that by themselves?
Okay.
Those blocks
this is
so intricately cut that you can't stick a piece of paper between some of them. They're so intricate.
That's true. They're precise. That's true. But before you lean into like, oh, how could the mysterious supernatural things? Think about this. First of all, how do you make a perfectly straight line? The simplest way you can make a perfectly straight line. Do you know? You get a string and a rock, and you hang it. And now you have a perfectly straight line up and down.
Carpenters still use that today with the chalk line. They've got a string that they pull out, and it's got chalk on it, and you'll see them. They make it taut, and they pop it, and there's your line.
Perfectly straight. Every single time, gravity works the same way.
As a kid. Pop, pop that blue line.
So like, I mean, that's the thing. Like that is like, oh, these perfectly fitted rocks, impossible to do. Dude, we had people that were that like their entire job was like, you better get that rock flat or dead. So yeah,
you're a good point. I was just asking. There are a lot of theories out there, and there's a new theory that's floated around for a while that they moved those rocks with some sort of anti-magnet or magnetic levitation or something like that. It's a very interesting theory. Sorry.
So yeah, I heard recently, like, oh, some of the, they had like the composition of the pyramids, and I am I'm no person that's like steeped deep in pyramid stuff. I just find it kind of superficially interesting. So the pyramids are, complex structures, mostly made of like limestone blocks, or at least they're capped in limestone originally, but they're like some other kind of stone is the largest component of it. There is a theory that's been floating around since the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever, sometimes debunked, sometimes not, that the heavy stones are like, oh, it's impossible. They could have moved all these stones from this quarry so many miles away. Maybe the Egyptians had a form of concrete that we don't know about anymore. And they just poured it in place. They literally could have just like made most of the pyramid where it's at with a type of concrete that we don't know how to make anymore. And we just think, oh, that's a rock.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna.
Unfortunately,
I'm not going to dismiss it because it's not feasible. That is completely feasible. That's completely feasible. But wouldn't there have been? Wouldn't you think we would have found evidence of some of this over the years? Because if you're going to pour huge concrete structures like that, you have to make a makeshift frame and whatnot. But it just seems like out of all the shit that we have discovered, we would have discovered by now some evidence that they were like pouring into frames. Because I mean, we've discovered the Baghdad batteries, for God's sakes.
Right.
We discovered that they had working batteries back then. So it looks like, I don't know. I'm not saying that that's not feasible. That's feasible. That's something that I've never heard before. I've never heard that theory before.
So, I mean, first of all, not an Egyptologist, right? But how are we going to frame these things? I don't know. Maybe wood. Okay, I don't know how much wood they have, but if they had some wood to make a frame, you can reuse the frames, and then when you're done building the pyramid, you can burn the wood. So I don't know.
You're making good points. I can't argue with your points.
I'm just saying that it's like, it's fun to like imagine like, oh, aliens brought levitating tech and they made this tent, and like, yeah, that's kind of fun. But like, it also could be that like there were craftsmen that knew stuff that we just don't know. I'm going to show you this. They were
taught by aliens.
Okay. Yeah, illegal aliens from Europe.
Every time. I can get you every time. I believe aliens have been to this earth many times, and that's just what I believe. I hear a train a coming. It's a rolling around the bend.
Let me see if I can. I'll look for it in a minute. Let's see. Core drill hole. Okay, here we go. Maybe this is it. Sorry, guys. That's not it.
Train's still going by.
Anyway, and hey, maybe the concrete thing's not true. Maybe they actually moved big old rocks somewhere, and there's some other stuff that like don't make sense.
They might have levitated them with their minds. We'll never know.
But wouldn't it be just the idea that there's an ability to craft a type of concrete that we don't know about, but ancient humans did. That's kind of interesting to me. That there is lost 2,000
plus years.
You would be surprised.
I'm not completely dismissing it because it's not unfeasible, but to me that's a stretch. That's a stretch. But things that I believe and you say you think are a huge stretch too, so it's not a big deal. I just think they have to kind of like I don't know. I am willing to consider the other options, but like I'll consider other options, but
maybe what Deacon. I'm gonna make a commitment to our audience that I will explore a little bit more pyramid stuff. I'm gonna learn a little bit more. Okay,
that's what our audience wanted. That's
they really.
Out of all the thousands of emails that I go through, most of them say, "I wish JJ would study up on more pyramid stuff."
Yeah, I really need to know more pyramid stuff. Okay, let's talk about. We talked about Fetterman the other day. There it is.
I got a
Uh-oh.
story for you. You want to talk
We
about it
need
real
to
quick?
show this hair.
Hold
because
on.
She got her hair
My
cut
before we
yesterday.
move on, my youngest daughter went to the barber yesterday, and maybe I'll
You
do it
can
like
tell.
this. So come on, show that haircut.
Show that beautiful hair. Is that the most gorgeous curls? I've never seen a girl so beautiful
That's so
with their curly hair. You say hi to
That's so
Mr. Deacon?
great.
Hi, Mr. Deacon.
He's waving at
And
you.
Uncle Jeremy's right there.
Uncle Jeremy's on there too. Can you blow kisses to Uncle Jeremy?
Hi, Uncle
All
Bear.
right, all right.
But
She's
seriously,
so
look at her hair.
cute.
Yeah, it's great. That's hair. It's
So-
amazing hair. I love that hair. I'm trying to talk about this other dude right now.
Big deal for girls.
All right,
Hair.
now hold on. I just made this morning, Deacon. So for political segments, I'm gonna try to flip over to this. So here we go.
I'm constantly messing with
Swoop.
my.
Oh, it's not. There we go. Isn't it gorgeous?
We are
Yes.
fancy.
Man, I'm working on this show. It's important. Here we go. Now we've been talking about Mr. Fetterman, and unfortunately, he had a stroke a couple months ago, and seemingly struggles to use words
Who's
sometimes.
this guy
But
again? The Pennsylvania guy.
John Fetterman, I think he's John Fetterman, Lieutenant Governor of Pennsylvania, currently running for U.S. Senate in a tight race against Dr. Oz.
Oh,
Let's just.
What?
It's only 10 seconds.
So we've got an idiot up against a guy who's had a stroke, and there's that. Those are our two best choices, Dr. Oz, this guy, and those are the best choices in Pennsylvania.
It's Pennsylvania.
Man, my sister-in-law lives in Pennsylvania. I'm gonna have to ask her.
What are you guys doing up there? All right, it's only 10 seconds. Let's hear out John Fetterman. Let's hear out what he
We already knew that this is going to be a
Okay, is there audio, and why is it screaming in my ears?
And he's loud.
And we're gonna, John Fetterman, you're standing right in front of the microphone. You don't have to yell into the microphone.
tight race, and we already knew that this is going to be a tight race, and we've always been running like this is down 5 points
Down 5
because we
points.
know what the stake is at race here. We already knew.
We know it's a tight race, and we know what the stake at the race is.
Aphasia.
Tight race.
Oh, shit, hang on.
Yeah, it is aphasia. So go get him, Pennsylvania. You guys can elect a senator to represent you as best as possible, to be your voice on the Senate floor. John Fetterman. So that is going on there. I don't know if we have any story. Let me see. I'm going to check the stories Deacon had in here, because Deacon had a Biden story. Oh, he did. Yes, it is. There we go. Since we're on a politics segment, let's switch over to hear the comments of our dear beloved president, because he had something very important to share with America yesterday. There we go. This is from Huffington Post, which is NewsGuard certified, and
What are we doing there?
even
I got a story.
rather even.
Every
Yeah,
damn
this is your
time I
story.
No, I don't give a shit about this story. This is not
Really
the-
don't.
No, I don't care.
I feel like this is where's the clip? There's no clip.
No, I don't care.
Oh, okay.
Biden's an idiot.
Well, basically,
For him to think he's a narcissist and to think that his family's a badass, and that of course he is. If he didn't, if we didn't catch him saying we're fucking awesome, that something would have been wrong.
yeah,
No
he's
one the Biden. That
okay.
sounds like
I think
some
you're right.
cocksucker.
There's no news here.
that you freaking know. I'm serious. Doesn't this sound like the guy that one guy that's a cock? The guy that walks around all day and he's just a prick. This is what he would say. Nobody fucks with Jared. Screw you, Kevin. Seriously. I mean, is this really news, or is this something that, oh my God,
I think
we need to make a big deal about it?
It's mostly that, well, it's a hot mic moment, and this is exactly the kind of stuff you probably should expect the president and not expect the Joe Biden to say.
If
And this
Trump
is
would've
a
said
clue
nobody
for the
fucks
rest of.
with Trump, they'd have talked about this shit for 6 months.
Yeah, I know. This is a clue that the Joe Biden that you see on TV and in interviews is a pretense. He is pretending to be a decent guy. But if you get him off mic, you find out he's actually a POS. And he
Or
says stuff like, no one F's with Biden.
Or do you
So-
think that maybe it wasn't a hot mic and this is all set up? I'm not saying it was, but man, that sure sounds like a fun fucking morning show trick that we would have done. Oh, it sure sounded like an accident, but it was all set up on purpose. That
I
sounds
feel
exactly like a trick that I would have done, man. I want to do this, but we're going to make it sound like the microphone's on, and we're going to make it sound like somebody caught a hot mic. And that way it'll improve clout. It'll improve this. It'll do this. It'll do this. And it'll take you completely off the, I mean, it's going to make you look more like a badass, Joe, because you've been stumbling and your aphasia's been going crazy and falling downstairs and riding bicycles and falling down, and people, your approval rating is dropping. So what is some little bitty things that we can do to help you a little bit? Oh, number one, Joe, hey man, if you were to pardon all these marijuana people, that's 6,500 votes right there. 6,500 votes is what this will entail. 6,000 people.
Right.
But you get the votes of all these other people as well that now think that Joe Biden's awesome, because
Right.
he's helping out with sorry, I'm trying to radio at the same time. He's helping out with
Biden.
smokers.
So
Pot smokers are going to like him, but what else can we do to help the image, JJ? We're going on this Joe Biden helping his image tour. Oh, well, let's do this real quick and have it sounded like, keep that mic on and just have him go.
Okay, so Joe Biden announces he's going to pardon thousands of people convicted of marijuana possession. This would be federal possession crimes, and that's pretty much it. So it isn't that many people, but doesn't it smell a little bit like a desperate move that isn't going to cost him very much, but maybe will engender a little bit of like
this doesn't
lefty liberal sentiments.
You're exactly right. This does not cost him anything, hardly anything, and it garners all kinds of positive image for him and the whole Democratic Party. Just this one move gets every single, and there's over 50% of the population of the United States is sympathetic to pot.
Right. Well, I think the so there's definitely advocates, and there's people that like myself that are pretty much like, I don't really care. I'm not really especially interested in that anymore in my life, but I don't especially care about it. I still have concerns about driving under the influence of pot or anything else. So
we have drunk people driving every day. I read a story every single day about somebody getting busted with meth. I am not exaggerating. I read a story every single day about somebody getting busted with meth in their car every day.
Right.
Somebody getting arrested and they have marijuana and or meth in their car. So it's not like, oh, can we keep these people off the road? They're already on the road and they've been on the road for 40 years.
Good point.
That's
a good point.
When you pass by a car every day, there is a great chance that person is drunk on meth or looking at their fucking phone or vaping,
all right, but in terms of public safety, though, should we be taking tools out of our belt to keep roads as safe as possible?
Like what?
I'm asking. I don't know, but like if you're saying, oh, we're going to decriminalize possession or whatever, you're lowering the incentive of people to have these things and use them in their vehicle.
No,
should we?
I don't think that the number of people that use it in their vehicle would change one iota. The people that are going to smoke weed and use drugs in their vehicle don't give two shits about what a law says. They're going to do it ananyway. Period.
Okay. I buy that. I buy that argument because that's the same gun argument that we make as people that are registered donors and are responsible gunners. They don't break the law. The only laws, the gun laws don't do anything except inhibit law citizens, and they don't do anything to criminal activity.
So think about this: people that use marijuana. I used marijuana for pain management. I did not use pills for pain management because I've seen pills kill people of my family, including my mother.
Highly addictive.
Yes, my mother was addicted to these damn opioids, and they killed her. The fucking idiot Indian doctor killed her, basically. All right. So I don't like pills. Marijuana I used for my back pain management for a long time, and I haven't used it for years, but I wish that I could. Kentucky's just not a legal state, and I just don't want to risk that anymore. You know, I'm not 20 years old anymore. I just don't want to risk it. But the people that I forgot the point that I was getting at. Oh, do you want to continue to line the pockets of drug dealers that are not just dealing in marijuana? There's some drug dealers that deal in marijuana, but once you move up the chain, those big drug dealers, their marijuana is the drug that just it keeps the grease on their wheels. Their main source of money is the other drugs, and right now in this part of the country, it's meth. Okay, so that's where they make their most money on. Marijuana is just a little bitty, it helps them keep going. So if we legalize this, we're taking money out of their pocket. I'm not going to go down the road and get it from the drug dealer when I can go up to the store and not have to worry about all the crap that I see at the drug dealer's house.
Right.
And all the situation that I'm putting myself into. I'm going to put myself in a safer situation. So that not only takes money away from the drug dealer and puts a hamper on his whole operation, that gives somebody down the streets a job because they're actually selling this stuff. And that gives the truck driver an extra load because he's having to carry it. It gets the farmer extra shit because he's having to do it. It gives the processing people extra freaking money because they're doing that. And I'm giving all of them money instead of the drug dealer down the road. So I don't understand why we haven't already. I do understand because it was all about hemp. We made marijuana illegal because of hemp. We wanted to make hemp illegal. All right. And there was no way to make hemp illegal. We categorized that with marijuana because they're cousin plants along with the tomato plant, but we made it illegal that way to keep hemp away from being ropes and, everything. So I think this is a good move. I think it's a good move for the Democrats. I hate to see it, but this was a good move for him. And it's not costing him anything. I think.
Well, yeah, no, I mean,
500 people. When I used to follow around, let me tell this story real quick because
sure.
And I think I've told you this story before, but I've always remembered this. I used to follow around a jam band named Fish, and actually, I saw a meme last night that cracked me up. I had to send to my brother about this, and it said, what Joe Biden did today with marijuana possession is going to lead to a massive expansion in the number of jam bands. That sounds harmless now. Wait a minute. That sounds harmless now until you've been subjected to a 23-minute long bass solo. I laugh my ass off at that, but I used to follow around the jam band Fish, and I've seen them 14 or 15 times. And I remember specifically talking to a hippie woman there at one of the Fish shows. And her husband had been arrested because for possession of marijuana, and he was in prison for possession of marijuana because they had like a couple of pounds. And according to her, they didn't have anything else but marijuana. That's how they sold a little bit of pot at the Fish shows to make gas money and food money to get to the next Fish show. That's how the Grateful Dead folks did. And he was in prison because of the mandatory minimum laws. And I just remember she was going around passing out these little flyers and talking to people and educating people about the mandatory minimums, that this guy is in prison with murderers and rapists because he was carrying around some pot and trying to sell some pot. And I didn't think that was right. It's crazy. So this is a good move by Biden, but
yeah, I mean, like it just. I'm not going to criticize it. I don't care. Let these people out of federal prison. You know what? I'm a big advocate. Let a bunch of people out of federal prison, especially for BS crimes, but not the least of which is protesting your government. It got a little rowdy and out of control, but this stuff right here, I don't care about this. Is this going to buy him votes? 6,500 people, okay, and then they have families or whatever. That's not going to move the needle. But it just stinks of being kind of desperate. And you can understand why it's desperate because things are looking grim for some of the for the Democratic Party coming into 2022 midterm elections. Okay, I think that's all the politics news. So let's switch back to our comfortable purple. It never occurred to me that I might be slightly moderate and maybe purple is appropriate. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not voting for any Democrats in there anytime soon. But I definitely be critical of Republicans too. Okay, anyway, we're done with political. I think U.S. political stuff, but I do want to talk about. We got a few minutes left. I want to talk about Ukraine. I know that everybody in the world, especially in America, they're just hearts are bleeding for Ukraine. And it's getting to the point where, we might be in some real trouble. I know you said you don't think there's going to be a nuclear war, but we got a nuclear sub out there. We got Russia mobilizing their 12th whatever division that manages and issues nuclear munitions to their troops, and they're mobilizing according to media, which I don't even necessarily believe. We have NATO that seems to be just begging Russia to get into some sort of a nuclear war. Poland has asked the United States to put some nuclear weapons up in Poland to share nuclear weapons. Poland, obviously, very concerned about an invasion from Russia. So in terms of sabers being rattled, sabers being rattled right now. And, I'm concerned about a global war. Just the possibility that Russia-Ukraine conflict could explode into a larger conflict between Europe and Russia, and that draw in America. That's a daunting prospect. But the reality is that the United States of America is already at war with Russia, and the Constitution was not abided by. The Congress did not vote on a war. President Biden and Congress are just sending buckets of bullets and missiles and tanks and whatever, $60 billion or more over there for Ukraine to fight Russia. But, that's really us. So I'm not liking this at all. And I'm thinking to myself, why is the United States of America going to fund a war to escalate it that's going to necessarily draw us in if it gets too hot? And then Ukraine does stuff like this. Let me tell you. We'll just do this. Ukrainian official confirms hunt to kill suspected pro-Russian losers. Ukrainian Interior Ministry advisor Anton Gerashchenko told the UK Daily Mail in an article published Wednesday that Ukrainian intelligence services were killing Ukrainians suspected of collaborating with the Russian military like pigs in areas where Kyiv has pushed back into the ongoing invasion. The United States of America is dangerously close to getting involved in a nuclear war on behalf of a country, an independent sovereign country, yes, invaded by Russia. And the government of that country is just as corrupt as Russia, and their interior services are hunting their own citizens and killing them on the suspicion of collaborating with Russians. No trial, no jury, no evidence. They're just killing them like pigs. But that's the Ukraine that you flag-waving morons are supporting. So if you've got like a blue and yellow flag in your box and you're like, oh, I'm against Russia, I'm for Ukraine, this is what you're supporting. You're supporting a abusive government hunting and killing dissidents. That's what you're after. You are a problem, you blue and yellow flag-waving lunatics, and you're going to get America involved. And I don't want to be involved. I don't want to send Ukraine any money. I don't care what happens to Ukraine.
Yeah, we've been sending Ukraine money for a long time. You think this war is just about war and whatnot? There's a lot of fucking cover-up shit that goes on with a war. If I start a war, JJ,
laundering money in Ukraine.
How do I sell you a bunch of fucking weapons, JJ, without anybody realizing what's going on? I mean,
We are
Jesus, people
laundering
are so
money.
easily. I mean, people are so easily fooled. I mean, it's so funny how easy you can brainwash and manipulate people. We used to do it for fun on the radio on the morning show, and we'd get people to call in, just by using the inflection of our words. People don't listen to what you say, they hear inflection and they hear trigger words. And we used to use inflection and trigger words to trick people into calling, and they would do it every time. So this is, I mean,
All right. Well, okay. So hold on. I got some additional evidence for you. If you still
can't say
think that
anything bad about Ukraine, or people will say that you're a fucking.
If you're thinking to yourself, oh, but the poor people of Ukraine, my heart bleeds for the poor people of Ukraine. Okay, your heart's bleeding for the poor people of Ukraine. Did you know the Ukrainians are planning an apocalyptic orgy in event of Putin launching a nuke? This is Ukraine. Ukrainians fearing that Russian President Vladimir Putin may unleash a nuke have organized another big bang, a wild sex party in the event that the warmonger's threat becomes a reality. Yeah.
Okay, you can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The would-be participants in this carnal extravaganza on a hill outside the Capitol.
You're reading an origin story.
I know. I know. She don't know. This is Ukraine. You flag-waving, Ukrainian-supporting, nuclear apocalypse marching towards morons. These are the people you're out there to support. Oh, what's wrong with that, JJ? Come on. You idiots. Stop sending money to Ukraine. Call your senator, call your congressperson, and tell them that
that's not going to happen.
I don't care. I don't want Russia taking over Ukraine, but not as much as I don't want nuclear war, and I don't care what happens in Ukraine. Some people want some dirt. Let them have some dirt. I don't care. I don't care. You guys are gonna be all supportive of this nonsense until, you know what? In about 4 months, when you can't heat your homes, when your milk and gas prices go up and up and up and up and up. All right. I'm off my pedestal a little bit, Deacon. This is a story on Town Hall from Josh Hammer. He says the U.S. needs to change course right now in Ukraine. We're more than 7 months into this war with Ukraine, and a formal White House readout of President Joe Biden's Tuesday call with Zelensky aptly summarizes the U.S. position. Quote, President Joseph R. Biden Jr., joined by Vice President Kamala Harris, spoke today with President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine to underscore that the United States will never recognize Russia's purported annexation of Ukrainian territory. President Biden pledged to continue to supporting Ukraine to defend itself from Russian aggression for as long as it takes. That's your president, ladies and gentlemen, verbally committing to Ukraine that we got your back no matter what. No matter what.
Did you think that he wasn't? He was the fucking guy to Ukraine when he was the vice president under Obama. He was the fucking guy that was the head of Ukraine when he was the vice president. I don't remember the fucking name, whatever title he was. He's been working on this shit for goddamn. People are fucking morons.
All right.
This is
I just want
talking about Biden and Ukraine, like Biden's helping Ukraine, like it's a big, oh my gosh, can you believe this? Of course he is. His family's been fucking helping Ukraine for like 20 years. Read a goddamn
you gotta keep that
Facebook post.
Gotta keep that money laundromat going, guys.
Watching fucking She-Hulk and Daredevils and She-Hulk and Frogman. Pay attention to some other stuff.
All right.
You can go. If you gotta go.
You got anything else?
Nah.
I was just incensed by some of this stuff yesterday. Let me see what else you had in
I
there.
understand, but to me, this stuff is like common sense stuff that like we're bitching over a dead horse that's been laying there for 4 months. It's like, yeah. You know, and
but
I understand it's enraging, but I just I know I think I know a little bit about, I've read a little bit of, backstory on some of this stuff from more than one source, you know?
yeah.
So it's like
Well,
not a
I
big
mean, I just
surprise
want to.
that
I mean, I don't try to dive into the Ukraine stuff very much because one, I'm not. I don't want to be involved over there. But I think we have to. I think we have to kind of say we don't want to be involved over there.
Yeah,
You
I don't
know.
wanna be involved over there at
So
all. But I
this is. I was looking. Let me show you something I was looking at yesterday. And I don't know how. I
I
don't know
just like
how
to point out that
interesting.
it's very easy. I just like to point out that my favorite movie is called Wag the Dog. If you've never
That's
seen
your favorite
Wag,
movie?
no,
Oh,
it's not
I've
my
seen
favorite
it.
movie, but it's a good one. It's a good one. But
It's not bad.
it might make some sense today if you want to go and try to watch that movie.
Let's see. Is this the? All right. So I saw this yesterday. This is this is a civics poll, okay? And this is not too nerdy or too deep. So this is the results by age, gender, party, race, whatever. Should the United States be more involved or less involved in solving problems overseas? This is the same question has been asked over months and years. Okay, currently, on average, 54% of Americans say we should be less involved. Okay, and then 12% of Americans say we should be more involved. Okay, so who is saying that? So So if you look at young people, 18 to 34, about 63% say we should be less involved. The
You like
older,
don't you?
of course, I like stuff like this.
Statistics and stuff like this. I
This is
this
no.
stuff to me is like, this is a waste of my money and time. Is
Think
a
so?
study like this, because what is this study showing you?
Well,
That
it
about
is.
half the fucking people all the time, give or take, sometimes in the years when bad shit happens, probably right there where it's gone up was that during World War II, and then up here is probably 9/11.
Well, this doesn't go that far back.
Oh, okay.
This doesn't. Yeah, this when Russia invaded, there was a huge spike
Mhm.
in want to get involved and a drop in
Yeah,
get it less
yeah,
involved, and now it's
yeah.
leveling out. But
It probably
by
stays like this all the time. That's how I
by
look at it.
by age, okay, older people
Right?
more
Right?
interested in being involved elsewhere, less interested in not being involved. The
Yeah.
younger generation,
Yeah.
younger than
Want
both of us,
wants less
they want
involvement.
less involvement.
Imagine that.
But
You did at 19 years old too, but you don't at 46.
no, I want to be less involved. I still want to be less involved. I think we should stay in America, develop our own stuff. But hold on. Look at this. Democrats on average, regardless of age, take the age thing off. I know it's dry. Democrats on average, their want to be less involved is 32%. They want to be involved in the whole world's problems, 20%.
That's not much.
It's huge.
20% is that's nothing. 20% of the population. You would expect something like that.
Republicans do not want to be involved. 70, way higher than the average. Do not want to be involved in problems overseas. Want to stay home and take care of our own. My point here is that Democrats, and by Democrats, I mean Joe Biden, the current House, the current Senate, want to drag the United States into war. They want to meddle in international affairs. That's what they want.
I hate to defend. I'm not defending Biden and the Democrats by any means, but we have done this. It's 2022.
Yeah.
American history will easily show you that since the early 1900s, we have been doing this. All right, probably before that, but we had a lot of bullshit going on in our own country in the middle to late 1800s that we were having to deal with. Okay,
Yes.
but since the beginning of the 1900s, we have been doing this, and it's not just
Yes.
the Democrats and the Biden right now. It's like
No.
everyone has been doing this. That's a United States thing. That's what we do. We
Certainly
are
since World War II.
we're the police of the world. So, but that's not we're the police of the world. We're strategic. It's a chess match. We're strategically placing and putting pieces where we need to be in order to get a checkmate one day if we need a checkmate. You know, hopefully we're not going to get the checkmate one day, but it's always nice to have your pieces set up, right? In case he moves, it's nice to have those pieces set up to where you don't have to do anything. So, I mean, we've been doing this, and we're helping this small African nation do this, and we're helping these people do this, and we're helping out. And it's under the guise that we're helping, and we may be helping, and that's great. And I hope we do help as somebody, you know, as an American. I'm hoping we're helping, but we're not known throughout the world as the good big brother that's always going to step in and help. We're the bad guys. We're known as the bad guys in the world. Okay? We are the bad
yes.
guys. And if you watch a movie and you're like, oh, those bad guys are taking over, that's us to everybody else.
Yeah, that's right. And there is a sizable contingent of the population that does not want to be the bad guys. But the Uniparty,
the bad guy.
establishment Democrats and Republicans are Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell, McCarthy, Schumer. They're all trying to drag us. They're trying to keep us embroiled over there. Both sides.
They make money that way, dude.
Yes, they do. But the people, the voters, the ones on the left, they don't read the news, dude. They don't read the news, and they're like, yeah, America should be involved. We should be solving other people's problems. And they don't know that we got our own problems.
War costs us money. War costs me and you money. If the war in Ukraine that we don't have that we supposedly don't have a fucking thing to do with has cost me and you how much money because of gas and increased supplies that we have had to pay because of this war that we're not involved in. But you know what? I guarantee you that, like you said, Mitch McConnell and all those freaking politicians, they're making money off this war because they're investing in certain fucking things that make money off war during wartime. And so it's costing us money, it's making them money, and they're the ones that's making the policies to stop the war or keep the war going. So what they're doing is telling you, I'm going to try to stop this war. I just said that to shut them the fuck up. It's like I don't know.
Yes. All right. Well, this is it, and we're done. The very important middle, the independents, the guys that push the needle in every election, they, on this issue of foreign policy, are in alignment with Republican people, right? So if Democrats always vote Democratic and Republicans always vote Republican, moderates are more strongly of the position that we should be less involved in international affairs, and that could move the needle. It possibly could. I don't know. In this next election, all I want is for America to be America and stop meddling in other countries.
Oh no, Ukraine that is America. I mean, if America's going to be America, then we have to meddle in other countries because that's
I don't want to meddle in other countries.
Then that's not
Russia
America.
And Ukraine want to have fist fights over territory. I don't care.
It's
I
not
don't
over
care.
territory,
I mean,
JJ.
I feel bad.
It's
Dude, it's about territory and gas and money. I think it is.
Okay.
So Mr. E asks us if Republicans take back Congress, will we see a downturn in Ukrainian support?
No.
The only way we get out of this is if you throw out Republicans and Democrats and you elect national populists that put America first, and they understand that traditional uniparty priorities are bad, and they have to actually vote against the GOP and the Democrats, and they have to vote for keeping our resources in America, producing our resources in America, decoupling from China, decouple from Europe, decouple from everybody. That's the only way we get out of this.
We're not getting out of it. It's never going to happen. We weren't
I don't know about never going to happen.
we weren't neutral at the beginning of World War II. Okay? Before Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, we were not neutral. Even though at the time, if we would have had Facebook and we'd have had CNN, and they would have been like, America is neutral, and there's no way that we're leaning to one side or another. That's bullshit. We'd have had people on CNN, politicians, and everybody going, that's bullshit. There's no way that we're sending weapons to England for a low price of $2. There's no way. That's bullshit. We're neutral. That's bullshit. We're neutral. That's bullshit. We weren't neutral. We were selling weapons to England for the low price of $2.
Right.
IOUs to Uncle Sam. But don't tell him where you got it from.
That's right. But here's the thing. For most of the 20th century, though, we walked around being the international police because we were dominant. We're not dominant anymore. We don't have the power or the advantage to be dominant.
We were the international police because we wanted people that was friendly with us. So we would help whoever to get powers in office that were friendly with us, that would do shit that we wanted them to do over the years. And some people just don't like that. And I wouldn't like that if Russia was the big brother stomping around all over the place and they just decided that here in Kentucky, they were going to do this and stomp this and do this. And, I would be pissed off too.
This whole situation's bad.
Yeah,
okay. So Mystery says we spent the most money on military. Yeah, we did. And we had the most advanced tech. And you know what? Everybody has drones now. Russia has a nuclear sub with drone torpedo tsunami bombs.
Have you seen some of these drone footage of the Ukrainian soldiers dropping these freaking grenades and anti-personnel things on Russian soldiers? It's like sleeping Russian soldiers that these drones find. Yeah. And it's dropping down on them. One was they hot boxed a grenade, or a tank. So the drone was flying over the tank, and the
lid was open.
Lid was open, and they dropped it, and you seen the freaking flames come out everywhere that was inside. I mean, they've been using these drones all over. There's footage everywhere of these drones killing these Russian soldiers and stuff. If you want to watch something like that,
all right.
Jill asked that I tell you she had a bad dream.
Oh, okay.
I talked to her about it, but she wanted.
All right, and I'll talk to her in just a second.
Go do that. That's more important than the stupid show.
Yeah,
I'm serious. This stupid show is nothing but talk to your daughter about your dream.
So we got more. I'm sure we got more of this coming up. Here's the thing. The reason why I say this is like the real consequences of the next election could steer us toward and into greater conflict, or maybe there's something we can do to head this off. What? I don't know. But I tell you this: if we stay this course, we're in real trouble. That's what I think. I think we're in real trouble if we don't do something different. But Joe Biden is telling Ukraine, no matter what, we're going to back you up. F Ukraine. I don't care about Ukraine. I don't care.
Joe Biden is going to do whatever he can to help Ukraine.
Yeah, because that's his cash machine. That's his money laundering, cash printing machine. All right, that's it. I'm hot. Let's go. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. You can watch this on YouTube, but I would prefer if you would start using Rumble. Rumble's better. You can listen to us on Rumble. You can watch Rusty Rockets, Russell Brand on Rumble. You can watch Timcast on Rumble. You can watch all kinds of great shows. Everything you can watch on YouTube that's worth a damn, you can also watch on Rumble. It's good stuff. All right. Bye, everybody. We love you.